Shannon Sharpe, arguably top 3, top 5 greatest tight ends of all time to play in the National Football League. Hall of Fame inductee Shannon Sharpe just lost out on a $100 million deal. Let me say that again in case you missed the numbers that I threw out there. $100 million, and ended up being fired from ESPN. And I'm here to say, so what? What is going on? What is happening? What is BEAU2 Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, JLW, and I want to thank you all so much for joining me for episode 65 of Stand on Business. Today we are discussing an individual that has been very interesting to watch rise and seemingly fall, and that individual is Shannon Sharpe. Now, let's go ahead and give some context to this. What we're talking about right now is Shannon Sharpe, who we all know, well, depends on how old you are. Some of us were introduced to Shannon Sharpe through on the field. I think he played in the NFL from, what was it, the 80s? No, he couldn't have been that old. 90s to 2000. I know he retired in 2004. I don't know when he entered the league. 1990s. So just missed the 80s. 1990 to 2004 when he retired. Some individuals introduced to him that way. Some, including myself, were introduced to Shannon Sharpe on the show Skipping Shannon.
Who do you think watches more tape, Tom Brady or all the coaches?
All the coaches.
Stop it.
All the coaches.
Stop
Skip,
it.
I'm not going to let you do it.
No,
I'm not going to let you
I'm
do it.
going to do
I
it
don't care.
because I just
I'm
did
not
it.
going to let you be disrespectful to these damn coaches because you love Tom Brady.
Nobody,
Tom Brady does not watch more tape
no
than
quarterback
coaches.
in
He
the
does
history
not.
of this league
Ladies and
watched more
gentlemen,
tape.
that is a flat out lie.
But some individuals got introduced to Shannon because of Club Shay Shay.
My dating pool is, I mean, my
Expansive.
God, impressive, expansive. I've had sex with 35 guys. Okay.
Whew. Oh, Lord.
Impressive isn't
Whew.
the word. So if I'm judged for
Anybody else need a shot of this?
if I'm judged for having,
Because of this image that he had built up of being this kind of good guy, or at least that's what we assumed him to be, based on the way that he would judge others and kind of mentor Ocho Cinco on their show together, Nightcap, you just felt like this is an individual that has his ducks in a row. This is an individual that has a goal and he's focused on the goal. Plus, if you listen to any of his shows, he made it very clear early on that, like, when it came to his personal life, he kept it personal. So it just seemed like this guy had foresight when it came to how to maneuver in the world of celebrity, especially as his was growing, coming off the major success of the Cat Williams interview that skyrocketed him into another level of fame where everything he touched was doing millions of views. Everybody wanted him on their show. And the deal that was coming his way was being reported for, again, $100 million to work with ESPN. And I think he's supposed to get his own show during the early morning hours or something like that. But just everything was going right for him. And you just went like, this individual, he knows what he's doing. This 19-year-old tiny white girl was in some type of relationship with Shannon Sharpe and was alleging that he was abusing her. And so the first reaction is shock. Wait, what? Second reaction for me, and I can only speak for me, was no, I don't believe this. I don't believe this at all. This is another individual that is looking to take down a celebrity or an individual that is about to get a major bag, and they're looking for their 2 cents of it. But then we get the major misstep from Shannon and his team where they end up leaking, or not leaking, but giving some of the documents concerning this event, because Shannon is alleging that he was obviously innocent in this whole thing and this was a consensual relationship, but he gives us the text. He gives us the name of the individual, of Jane Doe, and the way that it worked out or kind of shook forward is it backfired a little bit on him, because what we got to see, instead of him proving that it was a consensual relationship, which one, yeah, it did to me, and I think to 99% of people go, okay, yeah, they were both in on this relationship, but 2, it removed that whole good Southern man image right out the window, because we started seeing that, oh, Shannon, you into a different level of kink, a different level of freak, a different level of disrespect towards yourself as a black man. And that, to me, was probably the nail in the coffin, so to speak, And one of the major reasons why we're seeing what we're seeing now, because that text, that whole chain was nothing but a young white girl playing out her fantasies of being abused and treated a certain type of way by a big black man. It was playing with the fetish of the black-white relationship. It's one of the grossest manifestations of the coupling of black and white. And I've always told people, like, again, I believe in love in all forms and varieties. I don't care who you love, who you want to be with. That should be how the world works. However, be careful when individuals start using whatever is an identifier for you, whether it's your religion or your sex or your race, as the sole point of your relationship. If every time y'all get together, it's, hey, I love the way your black hands wrap around my tiny white breast. If that's something that's coming up, move away. That's an alarm. And so what was really disheartening for, I think, a lot of individuals was to see an individual who we thought was moving the right way, who was preaching the right things, doing the right thing to get to the next level and secure $100 million bag. To see those texts come out is to see him see these messages from this woman where she's saying things like, put that big black, and that you finished the sentence in me, put a big black baby in me. And hey, I want you to abuse me and choke me, and just all of these things that are playing with that fetish of not just abuse but like race play made us go, oh, Shannon, you too old, too wise, too preacher-like to be falling for these games. Again, we're not judging kinks. We're judging a man who should know better at this point and be able to identify pitfalls, be able to identify situations that are a trap. And even looking at the start of this relationship, right? Because I'm also of the mind that individuals that are of a certain age should not even be looking at women that are in this age group, right? Like, that's one. Nobody in their 50s or 60s should be looking at anything that starts with a 2 at all. But if you're on the trajectory of making $100 million, right? I understand that it's a different world that you're playing in. I understand that there are different rules that govern individuals. They have a bag to their name. We see it all the time. We're seeing it right now play out in our politics. If you've got money, you can open certain doors that the rest of us can't. You can play by certain rules that the rest of us can't. So I understand that these older individuals looking at you, Bill Belichick, are going to look at the extra young because for some reason it's a power flex, it's a ego booster, it's a lot of things. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that age yet, and I damn sure haven't gotten to a bag like that yet. But it does something to them to have an extra young woman on their side. To me, it's closely related to perversion. It's right there on the line because you're basically saying that just because on this day she is now 18, it's okay to dive in the pool when yesterday she was 17 and it wasn't okay. So the fact that you're even like skirting that close of a line is weird to me. But anyway, she's now alleging that not that all of it wasn't consensual, and I don't know if that's changed from the original, but during the course of their relationship, she's saying that at least there were 2 times that he had abused her, and I guess we can look at the actual document here.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
Okay, well...
Well, what?
Because I understand the gist. I understand the spirit of those words. No means no. Even if you are in a relationship, even if you are married, somebody can say, no, I don't want this, and you are obligated to not listen and back the hell off. And if you were to do something that is illegal and against their will. What I don't understand, though, is if you are in a consensual relationship like these two individuals were, and as they described it, a rocky consensual relationship, and I'm taking rocky as y'all are playing with abuse and power dynamics and things that maybe average couples would not do. Rape play, race play, all of those things where somebody could say no in the course of that sexual relationship and it not actually mean no, you're just playing the game. So when you have that, and somebody says no, can that person then later on decide to change their mind just because you're getting a bag or rumored to be getting a bag and say that that person sexually assaulted me or did something to me against my will? And how can you on the other side prove that that's not true? If we are engaging in a relationship that is based on power dynamics, and by power dynamics, I mean the man treats the woman in a way that she wants to be treated, but it's usually regarding degradation, humiliation, and again, abuse, because that is what she wants. And I have it in text that she's talking to me a certain way, and I'm talking back to her that way. Then later on, she goes, you know what? I see that there's an opportunity for me to make something from you. I don't consent to it. How do I then go back and prove that this was consensual? So although I understand the gist of what this is saying, I don't believe that is what's happening here. I believe that this is a woman who saw a lick from the very beginning. I think most common sense people see the shakedown. She gets to walk away with 20 some odd million. This man has built a career from the 1990s. Before that, F that. This man grew up in the dirty South. I can't remember if it was Georgia or Missouri, but it was one of those states that most people don't talk about being from unless you're from there. You know what I'm saying? And to have an individual of that background who literally didn't have a place, indoor plumbing, did not have a place to place his ass and take a shat inside his own home until he reached high school. This individual to work his butt off, to go to the practices every day from yay high, to go to the two-a-days every day in the middle of summer in one of the hottest places to probably practice in, to then make it to college and go through the grind that is college, then to get to the 1% of 1% of individuals who are selected to go play in the pro football league, and then to take that and go from an even tippity top. You got the best of the best of the best playing against you, and you stand out amongst them and get selected to go to the Hall of Fame, and then you get a career after football that most individuals would dream of having, even from the football perspective, where you're appearing on national air and people are actually interested in you. And then you put the work in every morning, getting up at 4 a.m. to be in the gym, to study your plays, to study the sports out there, to get on national television and speak with somebody who's also very knowledgeable and knows what the hell he's talking about. If you don't know what you're doing and you can't talk right, he's gonna make you look dumb. You're prepared for that. And then to spin off of that, which would have killed a lot of people's careers, because you can't pivot from what is a #1 show on television and go do your own thing and expect it to be as successful. But no, not only is it as successful, it is eclipsing how great Skip and Shannon was to get to that level of success, and then have a little girl come in and say, he touched me against my will. No, I know what my texts say. I know what perception is. I know it's very clear that I engaged in a sexual consensual relationship with him. Whoa. I know that if you look at my message, clearly I have a fetishization with black men and how I want to be treated by black men. But he touched me, and that's that. And I want $50 million. And then for her actually to walk away with not $50 million, but damn sure enough for her to announce that she's retiring from OnlyFans and going to go disappear to some island or some villa and live out the rest of her days with generational changing amounts of money at 20 whatever years old she is. And all she had to do was catch one. And I think that's what most people are upset about. Look, at the end of the day, she caught one. A lot of people do it. Can't be mad at her for playing the game, because the game is rigged in a way for those who do deceitful things to win. That's just the way it is. What we were upset, or not even upset about, but what we were just shaking our head at is Shannon, again, the image you personified, the judgment you've passed on for so many other individuals, the age that you're at, the place that you come from. This should have been such an obvious from a million miles away lick that you should have steered right clear of just the enormous amount of red flags she was walking around in. And I also want to add the rumors that I've heard about this individual and how he moves when it came to at work. If a woman was on the elevator, he wouldn't ride that elevator because he knew the circumstances that were happening to a lot of people and things they were getting caught up with. It seemed like he was doing a lot of extra steps to protect his and his family's, to get caught up by some mid like this is just you just come on, man. This is there's no bigger walking red flag. What could you possibly? Let's take Shannon out of the equation. Just put yourself in the shoes of being a 56-year-old man working at a gym, and you're a 56-year-old black man raised in the deep South. You'd have seen some of the most racist of racists, some of the most segregationists of segregationists, some of the politics that would make you cry. You'd have seen the worst of it. You'd have seen the behaviors of the rich and the powerful and the poor and the decrepit. And you're in the gym and you're working out, and in walks in a skintity white girl. Nothing special, just a skintity white girl and some Lululemons. And your first thought is, I bet you she wants this 58-year-old black. You finish the sentence. And even if she's giving you the time of the day, is there not just an inkling, a little goblin in the back of your head scratching you going, hey, fool, hey, why? Why would she want you? And in particular, when you're doing so well, God, you're doing so, everything is lining up your way. There's nothing going, I think maybe, just maybe, I should miss on this, circle back after I've laid something protective around me, right? The NDA was a good step, but you pulled that back. But at 56, 57, 58, I'm thinking, what can I do to make sure that if you're coming in to my inner sanctum, potentially toppling over my bricks of success that I've built, I've got guardsmen, I've got minutemen, I've got archers, I've got crocodiles, I've got moats, I've got spiked barbed wire. Everything that I need to protect myself is in place. So you're going to have a hell of a time to mess what I got built up here. Why would that not be in place? I just don't understand the things that she was able to pull off. But that's not the point of this video, because we've already hashed that. You know what I'm saying? People make mistakes. People do things that others are going to judge. Hell, we've all got things in our skeletons that if we were to come forward, we could make a video off of, and people would go, shame, shame, shame. Why did you do this? Why didn't you make that decision? Couldn't you see the signs from way back here that this is wrong for you? There's so many mistakes I got in my past that are like that. It's just fun to poke fun at other individuals because we like to see their suffering. Call it a human flaw. That is what we enjoy to do. However, my point, though, after seeing all of this, is to go, so effing what? Because what Shannon has done is build his own. Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, is all his. I don't need ESPN. I don't need Fox. I don't need any of you to approve or disapprove of what I do. Because at the end of the day, my money train keeps on rolling. Now, it might not be $100 million coming in right now. But that's okay, because what I was already living off of, what already was fueling my life of luxury, does not stop. Because I don't need the approval of anybody but me to release another episode of Nightcap. I don't need anybody else's approval to do another episode of Club Shay Shay. The individuals and guests that come on my show that enjoy talking and that you enjoy listening to, they're still going to come on my show and enjoy talking to me. I'm not going to fire me. And this is why it's so important, and such a good example of why it is important to own something. Because at the end of the day, all of us, most of us, are susceptible to employment, which means we do things that are in line with what our employers view as right. Because the moment they view it as wrong, we are now in danger of losing our source of employment and thus our income. I don't need $100 million right now. My life doesn't run around somebody signing a check today giving me $100 million when I know that what I've built and am building will one day be worth $100 million on its own, and it's mine. Somebody will come along one day and offer me not only that, but maybe more, as I continue to prove what makes me great, what makes me stand out. This is a little hit. There are plenty of billionaires that own companies that have done way worse-ish than what Shannon is allegedly to done. And let's be clear. I think most people recognize Shannon didn't do what he's being accused of being of done. The one thing he did was be dumb. That was it. That's the one thing that's not criminal that we can accuse him of. You was dumb. You fell for the I don't know, the bunny trap, whatever you want to call this trap. And you're paying for it. And you're going to take this hit, but you're going to move on for it. Nothing here is illegal. You didn't do an R. Kelly. You didn't do a Bill Cosby. Billionaires have done terrible things. Hell, the person that we're calling president right now has been known, as publicly known, to have done some of the nastiest ish on this planet. And he's still moving. Why? Because, hey, check my name, check my resume, check what I own, what I generate. Whether you approve of me or disapprove of me, money still works around here. So that's why I say so what for Shannon, because Shannon has built something that he owns. And at the end of the day, as long as I own something, I control my fate. And as long as you have that, I'll pay this little 20 some odd million and never speak to that girl again, and I'll let this be a lesson learned. Find something, own it. This is why I love individuals that are going to trade school right now. Gen Z, you're great. You recognize that college is a scam. Yes, it is. It's overpriced, and more things than not, I'm not going to say it's a scam. It's great to network. Go to a school that allows you to network in the field that you want to be in. That is the true value of college. Outside of that, take your ass to a trade school, learn something that you can sell. And I'm not saying you go learn it and you go work for a company. I'm saying you learn it and you become your company. You own that company. You sell your wells to other people. You let people pay you to do a service. You don't get a weekly check to work for somebody else so that they get paid more. Own something. The world is becoming smaller. The algorithms control so much. And this is even for content creators right now. Owning something digitally is not even the same thing anymore, because now I can control the algorithm. I could pull the viewership away from you if I really wanted to. Think about what that means for you. Say you own something like Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. Well, I use people as my source of sustenance, as resources. I need eyes, I need clicks, I need likes, I need shares. I need you all to fuel my empire. The moment you can no longer access my empire, i.e. YouTube, Facebook, IG is owned by Facebook, but all these parent companies that own this tech go, I don't like you, and I don't want nobody to find you. Switch, and now none of your videos are popping up. You post, nobody's ever seen it. That empire begins to crumble. You starved out of its resources. So it's dangerous now even to think about digital ownership and what that means. I think it's still important to find something tangible in the real world that you can own, but that's a conversation for another time. On a completely unrelated note, but actually kind of related in the fact that it's dealing with race, I'm sure y'all saw the news that in northern Arkansas, there is a group of individuals called hold on, let me get their actual name. I don't know why I want to say it right anyway, but I want to be factual. All right, here we go. From the Times of Israel, Return to the Land. No. Return to the Land. It's a white supremacist building whites-only settlement in Arkansas. This is so important, and it sucks that I even have to take time to talk about this stupid-ish by stupid-ass people. But we do need to take a moment, because I was sharing this with my family and friends and people I cared about, where I was saying that, hey, did y'all see what's happening in North Arkansas right now? Place that my family, not North Arkansas, but a lot of my family, the majority of my family is from Arkansas. Both my mother and my father, my cousins, my uncles, my aunties, my grandparents, their grandparents, all of them from Arkansas, right? And so it didn't surprise me that it was Arkansas this was happening, but in northern Arkansas right now there's an all-whites community. Apparently it's been there for a little bit now.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
you don't let everyone into your home.
About 40 people currently live on site, and hundreds more worldwide have paid for membership. According to Sky News, some of the members are police officers and federal agents. Police officers and federal agents. Think about it. The people who are supposed to protect you, the people that are supposed to be impartial, the people who are supposed to be neutral, the ones that individuals are crying out and telling you they are mistreating us, and they get up on stand and lie and say, no, we're not, are part of a white supremacist only membership land community. God, this is why it's so important when I tell people, when I have individuals that are friends that are minorities that say, oh, I hate cops. I'd never be friends with somebody that's a cop. Stupid. Why would you not have individuals that look like you work in the places that are supposed to protect you? It doesn't make sense to be like, oh, because I hate that, because of what it's done to me, I don't want to associate with anybody that's part of it. No, you want individuals that look like you to be in these organizations so there's somebody fighting for you on your side. We need more minorities in these spaces as lawyers and cops and doing the jobs that you think is for some reason only white. Those who pass the group screening process are offered to buy land as LLC shares tied to personal plot, to which RTTL believes allows it to bypass civil rights housing laws. Because RTTL has a legal status as a private members association, the group claims that its LLC structure exempts it from the Fair Housing Act. Civil rights groups say the arrangement is likely unlawful. Now, I want to stop it there. The Attorney General for Arkansas came out and said basically that they are investigating. His office is investigating the legal status or the legality of what these individuals are doing. The counter to it has been that these individuals, like you just read here, are structured in a way that they're saying that they're basically a private group, right? We have nothing to do with what the public wants as in terms of falling under you're supposed to provide everybody an equal opportunity to housing. I want to focus on this part because when I originally told some people this, their response to me was, who cares? Let them do what they want to do. And that is so dangerous. That is what I want to say real quickly. That is so damn dangerous because it is like cancer. It is literally, these groups of individuals are cancer. They are cancer and they are intending to spread because this same group also has plans to expand into Missouri. And imagine what you're doing when you just say, oh, allow those people to do what they want. They're all in their own little communities. No, you are allowing breeding grounds for hatred to boil and fester as they continue to preach why they are a superior race, why blacks, Hispanics, Asians, LGBTQIA+, individuals that are Muslim are bad and they rot the land and they rot people and they should be treated as either property or dispensed with. You're allowing those communities to exist and that hatred to be stoked and not stamped out. And you are going to allow it to spread to other places. And you already heard what it said. It has hundreds of members, not just in the country, but worldwide that want to jump on it. So there's obviously an audience for it. And if you do not stamp that ish out before it starts, you are going to deal with it in the long run. Those emotions. We've already seen individuals. We've seen lone shooters. We've seen people who shoot up churches and shoot up clubs against people that they believe are living in a life of sin or live in a way that's counter to what they believe. You're going to allow stuff like that to fester in a community? That makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying that we don't already have pockets of communities that are predominantly, one race. We have Chinatowns, we have Koreatowns, we have neighborhoods that are black, we have neighborhoods that are white. Separation already exists in how things shake out. What I am saying is the boldness in a group to come out and say that this is the only group that we're allowing. And yes, we are preaching white supremacist type material, and we want other individuals who believe the same type of theory to come live this. That's what's dangerous. That is what has to get stamped out. You cannot allow that shit to spread. I like to believe that the majority of us are on the right side of history and working together. And I'm telling you, the group that can look to the left or the right and recognize that it's made up of white, Latino, Asian, natives, that group is going to be much, much stronger than a handful of idiots who believe that only having their incest-bred cousins and mamas and aunties and grandpa uncles together is going to win. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. That's it, man. Let's end on a happy note. Own something. This is what Shannon Sharpe is really teaching us, man. Find your bliss. Find your happiness because it's right there waiting for you. That's what we're going to stand on today. Hopefully you're standing on something or you will fall for anything. I was your host, JLW, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode.
I need a long time. Girl, I'll be your best. Yes, then I'll be your best again.